Howdy y'all. Contest entry today. I've only ever entered one contest other than this in my life. And good Lord, there's been a lot of contests flying around this month. I do watch them. I watch their responses. Really like this kind of thing. And I must say that so many of them I don't feel qualified to enter simply because I've not been reading comics, modern comics, since around 1990, 91, something like that. And I hear a lot of questions about the movies, you know, the superhero movies and the TV shows, and I know absolutely nothing about any of that. So I just simply don't feel qualified for a lot of this stuff. Anyway, we do have one here. It's from TheDoom143. He's got three questions, three criteria, criteria to meet to enter the contest. And I think I've got it all here. I do want to say too that Doom is has been greatly supportive of and has been promoting Joe Houk, Joehouk, promoting his channel and his GoFundMe page to help relieve some of these terrible medical expenses for his mother, who has been very, very ill of late. It's a terrific cause. We want everyone here in our little YouTube comic community and all of their loved ones to be as healthy and happy and secure as they can be always. So good on you, Doom, for really promoting the effort for Joe and his mother and his family. So TheDoom143, mahalo, y'all. Three questions, three criteria. I'm going to go a little out of order here because this thing is the third criteria is to pronounce the name of the Hawaiian state fish. And until I get this out of the way, it's making me nervous, and it's going to kind of degrade how articulate I'm able to be about the rest of the video. However, the Hawaiian state fish, it's a beautiful little thing. I looked it up. It's got that V on the side. Nice, lovely. When I first read the name, I thought, well, I don't think I'd ever seen a word with that many letters in it. Humanum anukuapua. Humanum anukuapua. Huma anukuapua. Totally embarrassing myself, I'm sure, and I'm looking at this. I have the syllables kind of broken apart here. Huma meh. One more time, John. Huma ukuapua. Hua ukuapua. I suppose this is the fun of asking that question, right? My brother is to hear people stumble and go on and embarrass themselves. Huma ukuapua. Human ukuapua. Human ukuapua. How's that? Human ukuapua. Best I can do, brother. I'm sure everyone's already clicking off now, going, John, just Dr. Vonchilla, you're mad, and you're just clicking off. Anyway, the next part is, he wants you to subscribe to his channel, and I've been a subscriber since virtually day one. And there's other folks that are just kind of starting out in the community and in the YouTube comic community, and I checked out all the channels and subscribed to a few of them. Kyle Walker, Mr. Rigamortis 86, Sunshine Collects Things, Golden Car Comics, and Master Splinter. Y'all go out there, check those videos out, and support them with your subscriptions. Indeed, I really enjoy finding the people that are just kicking up, and I try to give them as much support as I can. It's the only way. Y'all's videos is the only way that I find out about new comics. I don't, follow it any other way. Anyway, and the final thing is, how did we arrive at our YouTube names? Well, Dr. Von Chilla actually goes back a long way, back into the early to mid 2000s. My friend Michael and I, for years and years and years, had a little dual acoustic guitar act going on. Michael has been a longtime friend for more than 30 years, and when we were very young, back in the mid 80s, he asked me if I would teach him to play the guitar, so he was my student for many years. Anyway, back in the early 90s, we started this little kind of free-form jazz, Grateful Dead-ish jamming kind of thing. We called ourselves the Hellbillies. That's fine. The Hellbillies went on for a few years, and then I met my banjo-picking buddy Victor, and Vic and I played together as a guitar-banjo duo, playing a lot of old-time music and stuff like that. A lot of old-time church hymns and stuff like that. And then Vic had a stroke and shortly passed away back in August of 2005 at the age of 80. Good Lord, I can't believe it's been 11 years now. But Michael kind of came back into the picture, and for the first time in my life, I started writing songs. Songs just began to pour out of me. Melodies just began to pour out of me, and Michael really brought me out of my shell again, because after Victor died, I couldn't even touch an instrument for months. But Michael came back in, brought me out of my shell musically, encouraged my songwriting and all this kind of stuff. And we actually took this name from something that Victor had said. Vic liked to make these nonsensical rhymes out of rhyming words. And I remember one day, years and years ago, he said, he had a very deep kind of baritone voice, and he said, "Vanilla chinchilla, vanilla chinchilla." And I always kind of liked that. It always stuck with me. So after Mike and I got together, started playing again, we decided, well, this is not the Hellbillies anymore. Let's call ourselves something different. So I said right away, well, how about Vanilla Chinchilla? Mike liked it. But he calls me a day or two later because he had looked on the internet and said, "John, there's already a group out there called Vanilla Chinchilla." Well, not that we were a group in the sense that we're playing out in front of crowds and we're trying to make records and all this kind of stuff. But I thought, yeah, I don't want to be Vanilla Chinchilla when someone else is already Vanilla Chinchilla. So Michael said, well, how about Vanchilla? shortening the vanilla, shortening the chinchilla, vanchilla. And he said, well, or to kind of keep in touch with your Danish origins, how about vanchilla? I thought, well, that's great. Vanchilla just kind of rolls off the tongue. And I remember we used to record all of our sessions together and all of my new songwriting and putting together all this stuff. And on one of those tapes I said, at the beginning, I said something like, welcome back, the Doctors Vanchilla. And that's when it really was kind of cemented, the Doctors Vanchilla. And so I became Dr. Vanchilla. I also have another musical persona that's called Uncle Johnny Musson, which is based on the name that all of my nieces and nephews have always called me, from when they were early or young enough to just begin to talk. It was Uncle Johnny Musson. And Uncle Johnny Musson is the part of me that plays all the old-time music on the banjo and the guitar, really old stuff. And it's a nod to Uncle Dave Macon, who was a banjo player from Tennessee who was born right after the Civil War. Uncle Dave Macon, Uncle Johnny Musson. So there's that. Anyway, that was a long story. Probably could have made it shorter, but I'm talking as quickly as I can. That's how I became known as Dr. Vanchilla. And it's funny because some people actually do. Some friends call me Doc or Dr. Vanchilla. I think that's kind of funny. The only ones that actually call me Johnny are my family and a handful of my very closest friends that I grew up with. They call me Johnny too, except for my dad. My dad gave up calling me Johnny 35 years ago, and he calls me John. But the rest of my family calls me Johnny. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, buddy, thanks for the contest. Umanuma Ukuapua. Umanuma Ukuapua. I'll probably be running that through my head the rest of the day. Anyway, a link to the Doom143 channel below. A link to Joe Houk, his channel below. And that's it, y'all. I will see you later. Bye-bye.